I don't change who I am based off who you are. I talk to you, hey, what's going on, man? Like I remember I met the president of my old job in the elevator and he didn't know who I was. I didn't know who he was. I just thought he was some white man. He's black, he's albino. I was like, oh, okay. And they's like, that was this person. I was like, okay. It's like, you talk to him. Okay. He a human, he doo-doo, I pee-pee. We do the same thing. He bleed, I bleed. It's like, you ain't feel nervous? Why would I feel nervous talking to a man? He a man just like me. He not God. He not nobody. He got to take his pants down to doo-doo just like me. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Kris, back with another episode of Good Looks, man. You know, the show about life, insight, creative content, and how to be you in a world where it's hard to be true. I'm your host, Kris, and this is
Theon.
And today we're getting into your team.
Your squad.
Your gang.
Your partners.
Your companionship.
Your confidants.
Yes, all that.
Your ride or die.
If sometimes.
Man.
Sometimes. And that's what we're gonna get into today, you know what I'm saying? Because everyone knows your companion can determine where you're landing when you're in this journey of entrepreneurship or creative content creation. So that's what we're trying to get into. I guess both of us have been in different spaces.
Sure.
And different speed bumps, as we talked about that other episode.
Yeah. I feel like we've hinted at it in a couple of episodes already, and we just haven't really delved deeper into it for whatever reason that is.
Yeah.
Either because it was so fresh or whatever the case may be. But I think it's time that we talk about some things.
Okay.
For sure.
So you want to start?
I think a great place to start is understanding that everything is sort of tied together.
There we go.
Right. And we talked about it a little bit, where when you're trying to create something and you're trying to grow and you're trying to reach this mountaintop and you have certain people that are helping you get there along the way. I consider you to be one of those people. I consider my girlfriend to be one of those people. But in that, and in those dynamics and in those relationships, they can either be pushing you up or they can be a weight that's weighing you down. Right. And there are so many things to delve into with that. You know, you have to decide when it's time to sort of cut that weight, you know, otherwise you're going to just fall all the way to the bottom. When to nourish certain other friendships or relationships because you nourish them, they nourish you, and you guys are getting there even faster. Yeah.
I think it's a great starting point, a great vantage point, because we always talk about how we look at things.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a great vantage point, man. We getting this lingo together, bro. It's gonna be.
You know what?
But I think that the main thing that I agree with you is like how you start is typically how you finish too. So if you meet somebody in a way and both of y'all going and doing y'all thing and y'all hustling together, I feel like that's a totally different experience than if you already on your way and you find somebody and you pulling them along. And that's what I feel like that's the difference between somebody that's propelling you to do more and pushing you to be better and somebody that's holding you back. Because that one person you dragging and one person is like pushing you from behind and y'all both going together. Like you running and they're pushing you. So with that metaphor, like it's important to know your personnel. It's important to know your personnel.
But like with everything in life, things change, right? So you could be rowing along, right, hitting a certain pace, making your markers, and then another person comes along and you guys are both hitting these strides, you know what I'm saying? And then you're just like, you know what, why don't we just paddle together, right? It just makes sense. You know, put all of our supplies together, all of our expertise, all of our skill together moving forward and become an even stronger force. But then something happens and then their canoe springs a leak, right? And you try to help patch it, but they might not know how, or they are just like, I'm okay, actually lagging a little bit. I've been rowing real hard, you know? And you're like, well, I need to keep going, you know what I'm saying? But I value, you know, what we had. Yeah. So making those adjustments is hard. And it takes a toll on you. Yeah. So it's just like, where do you sort of like separate, you know what I mean? Your creative and your professional endeavors, and then your personal relationships, you know what I mean? So that it's not, one isn't bleeding too much into the other. Yeah. Like, it's different for everybody, but for me, I know for me personally, it's kind of hard to separate. It's kind of hard to separate. It's like we can have our own things, and I love that we have our own things, and I love that we're supporting each other in our own things. But if there is something awry in my relationship, my focus is going to go there to repairing that, because that's going to hinder my focus here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's where your priorities are.
I understand that. I agree.
Because at the end of the day, when you're on your deathbed, what's going to matter the most? That you were on the cover. I was on the cover of GQ. I was one of the top male models of my generation. I was all this and the other. Or is it going to be my family? Is it going to be what I've built, the legacy that I've left behind?
The lives you've impacted.
Exactly. It's going to be that. I couldn't care less. As long as I can say that I was a good husband, a father, a friend, brother, son.
You've been saying that for years, though. And that's the wild part.
Facts.
I remember, so listen,
Absolutely.
I remember we was in RMC. This is a throwback story. I don't even know if you're going to remember this. I remember our boss, Ricky.
RMC, Residence Maintenance Crew.
My bad. Yeah, my bad. RMC, Residence Maintenance Crew. It was like the moving company / maintenance men on American University campus, right? Yeah. So it's a ragtag bunch.
For sure.
Ragtag
bunch.
For
sure.
And you know, our boss, he was like the leader of the Goonies, man.
Of the
Goonies.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
He asked us a question like, "What do y'all want to do with y'all life?" And I remember everybody's going around the room saying what they want to do. You know, I was like, man, I don't know, man. I want to rap. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then we got people, I want to start a business. I want to do this. I want to work in the Senate. I want to be a diplomat. I want to do this. So then I remember you said, I want to be a husband and a father. I remember you said that. And I was like, that's not what he asked you. And he was like, he asked me what I want to do with my life. I want to be a husband and a father. I was like, whoa, that's and we like 20
at that time. Yeah,
I was like, that's
19,
intense.
20,
and I was just like, that's intense. I can't, I'm happy to be with my girl, but I can't imagine being a husband and a father right now. You know? So it was just, you've been saying that. It's what I said that story.
And so it's different for everybody. Everybody's and there's nothing wrong with your answer versus my answer. It's just a matter of preference. But I also think that just a side story, I've always sort of been that way. My mom loves telling the story. When I was in kindergarten, the teacher read us the story of the 3 billy goats.
Okay.
And how they have to cross the bridge, but there's the troll, right?
Yeah.
And they all have their different tactics to get across, tricking the troll or whatever the case may be. And so the teacher asked the whole class afterwards and was just like, what would you guys do to get across? And I said, I would try to be his friend.
Wow.
Apparently my teacher cried, called my mom in that day to come pick me up so that she could tell her the story in person. My mom cried. I'm in kindergarten. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, can I go home and get my Capri Sun? Like,
Capri Sun's fancy.
But I think that's
fancy.
No. Back then it was called Huggies. We had Huggies.
There we go.
The little like translucent barrels.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. That's more. I was like, Capri Sun.
No. We didn't upgrade the Capri Suns until like middle school.
Okay.
Maybe.
Cool. Okay.
No, it was Huggies for sure.
Yeah.
If it wasn't the school provided lunch.
Hey man. Hey.
Okay.
Hey man,
free or reduced lunches.
Hey man.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, we ain't here to judge. As soon as he said Capri Suns, like a 93, 94? Fancy.
You did judge though. You were just like, oh, you guys were No, I was eating. We were eating bologna sandwiches. That was our thing. Fried bologna sandwiches.
I don't think I had
oodles and noodles.
I don't think I had a Capri Sun until somebody gave me one in my neighborhood, and I think I had to be like in 6th grade. And I remember I used to see it on TV, like, oh man.
Yeah.
My bad to get in the story.
No. I get it. So I think I've always sort of been built different in the fact that like I value my relationships so much more. And that's why I keep my circle small, especially the older that I get, because I understand that I will exert a lot of my energy and my time to my relationships. And if I have too many relationships, I'm just stretching myself way too thin and I have nothing left for myself. So that's why my circle is small. That's why I only hang out with you, Gotti, Mike. Right now, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And my girl. That's it. And my dog.
Layla don't count, man. So that's a tandem thing, man.
Yeah, it's true. But if our friendship is lagging, then it'd be hard to do the show.
Yeah.
To a certain point, I'd be able to compartmentalize and be professional and get it done. But in the back of my mind, I'm constantly going to be like, how do I fix this with Kris? Like, what can we do? What's the disconnect? How can we figure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just like you said, choose your partners wisely, because if your partner understands that, then they're going to take all the necessary steps as well to make sure that they're good, you're good, we're good. So then we can focus on growth and all the other things that we're trying to do to be great.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that also goes into the idea of like an army of one. Especially when you trying to be a high performer or you trying to do something like you trying to get it out the mud, you feel like you got to do everything by yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's something I had to struggle with. I struggled with for a long time, even in my relationships. And it became to my detriment a lot of the times, even in my personal relationships, because I would just disappear. And they were like, Kris, what have you been doing? I'm like, I've been working. But what you working on? This. Why are you working on all those things? You ain't. I could help you. I don't think so.
You are very much that way, for sure. You are very much that way.
And it's something that it took a long time for me to get comfortable with, because I would reach out and I was used to being disappointed. Like I'd be like, hey, I need help. And then, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
it didn't meet your standards or.
No, it's just like the help wouldn't come. They'd be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, first girlfriend, I used to ask her for help on a lot of stuff all the time. And she just was like, oh, I'm not really interested.
She wouldn't show up.
And I'd be like, we have something in common. You do. I want to do music. You want to produce music. I don't understand.
It's very simple math. It's very simple math, Kris. You don't have to explain it to me. We're on the same page.
That's what I'm trying to describe for the people though. Like you could be like, another example would be like if you're a painter and a lot of painters, surprise, surprise, they gallery owners, they collectors. What do you mean? You're not gonna buy my painting, put it in your house? You got all these people coming to your house all the time that can personally like my work. You're just not gonna put it up, huh? I made the painting for you.
Yeah.
Oh man, you a chef, and you happen to be dating a critic. Oh man, I just made this new dish. It was really popping.
It tastes real good. You want to try it?
Maybe write about it.
Maybe make a post.
Exactly. And it's so weird. And I find myself in this situation, and they'll be like, it's not really what I'm interested in doing. I don't want to do that. But then you see them do it for other people, and it's like,
that's even harder.
Why are you doing this? And it's like, but I've also been on the receiving end of that. Like I got a homie, man, Josh. He make beats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And Josh made beats for years for me. Like he would just send me beats, and I wrote to all his beats, but I never put nothing out. And I was like, at some point, I had to tell him, I was like, bruh, your beats fire, but I don't think I'm ever gonna put anything out at this moment. Like I still don't think. I was like, I don't.
But that's fair though. That's transparency.
But it took years for me to get there because the beats was fire. I was like, dog, I don't want nobody else to get these Jones. They fire. Like, oh my God, nothing sound like this. And I'm writing all these stories and concepts and things. You know, but it's not music. It's like. If I had to describe it, it's almost like I was writing audiobooks, because everything I wrote was a story. It wasn't like it was a song with a hook. It was just stories, long stories, 3-minute stories, 4-minute stories.
Sure.
So it's like, you can't, and I used to tell him, I sent it to him. He'd be like, that's fine, when it's coming out. I'd be like, it's not really a song that I think people will listen to.
So you were getting in your own way.
Yeah, and it's like, and now he's like producing for other people. And it's good, and I'm happy for him. And every time he posts, I'm always like, that's fine. I'm so happy for you, bro. Like, you know, and it's like, but in the back of my mind, I felt like, dang, I held you back somewhat too.
A little bit.
You know what I'm saying?
But he found his way though. Yeah. He had to learn that there are going to be those people. And that's something that we all have to learn. There are going to be those people, and not to say that you're that way, because you very much you very much. You
don't gotta be perfect, bro.
You're a person that follows through.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
But you weren't back then.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that's hard to accept sometimes, because you want so badly to come up with that friend.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And you can see it, and you can see it for them, but they don't see it for themselves.
It's the hardest thing in the world.
It's so hard.
The hardest thing in the world. And I still think about that to this day. Like, I wonder how it's like would have been if I'd have just let him do it. Give him that, like that little 2-3 years I was holding him back. Like, what if he was doing it with other people, doing stuff with other people? Like, how would you feel about that?
About being held back?
Yeah. Like,
I mean, that happened to me.
For real?
I was a Josh.
Oh.
But the person that was you, I'm still in touch with. And it's just like it's an interesting relationship. It just shows the evolution of relationship. Like,
absolutely.
He's still a homie.
Yeah.
But like, in my mind, I always have some things that are like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you want to say, but like, it's all inner thought.
And you sort of have to put him. You have to put him in his own sort of.
That's I think you put him in a compartment.
Exactly.
And like,
exactly.
That's how you manage your expression.
Exactly.
So like, but like when it's your romantic partner,
it's even harder.
It get dark.
It's even harder.
It get dark.
It's even harder.
It get dark.
Yes. Yes. It's that much harder because your emotions are tied to it as well. I think it's easier with a friend because you're able to separate your emotions to an extent. But when you are full-fledged invested into this person and you want nothing, you literally want nothing but the best for them, but they don't see that.
Yeah.
Right. And everybody has their own journey, and I'm guilty of being stubborn at times, and you know, I need to figure things out for myself. I don't care how many times you tell me sometimes, like, no, bro, if you do it this way, it's going to go like this.
Mm-hmm. I gotta see for myself.
Yeah, I gotta see for myself. I'm just gonna try it this way real quick, and then I'll learn. You know what I'm saying? And I get that some people are like that, and some people just have to figure it out for themselves. But it's just like after a certain point of them taking this time to figure it out for themselves, trial and error, and then they don't handle that well, per se, right? And then it takes a toll on their mental, then they're down in the dumps, or they're discouraged, or whatever the case may be. And then you're now having to pick up those pieces as well. So then it is weighing on you.
Yeah.
So then you get even more frustrated because you're just like, I told you. I literally gave you the handbook. Yeah. I've been here before. Try it this way.
Man, but it's also can be the opposite though. Somebody could be trying to pour into you and you closed off. And I've been that too. Like I don't know how to receive compliments very well, even though I'm very self-complimentary or self-congratulating, as you know.
And that's why you and I are one and the same in that way, for sure.
But it's hard for me to receive compliments. It's like, you know, thank you. And it took a long time for me to get to that point. And
why do you think that is?
I guess I should just talk about it. When I was growing up, I got a lot of compliments.
Really?
Yeah.
From who?
My mom. People.
Really?
Yeah. My mom was very complimentary of me and my brother. She always said.
Did you get a lot of positive reinforcement growing up?
No.
Okay.
Negative reinforcement is what I mainly got.
But you got compliments?
100%.
Huh.
So the compliments were always about how me and Kigo are smart, or how we're tall and got good hair, you know, stuff like that. But then it would be followed by a litany of beratement. So I began to value words very lowly. So even for me, if I'm in a relationship, to get into this a little bit, words don't mean a lot to me. I'm all about what you're doing. You can say whatever you want, but I know if you could be treating me differently. So it's like I'm that way. So that's why I'm not good at receiving compliments, because it always seems like it's disingenuous because my own stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And just the basic, you know, human principle that actions speak louder than words.
Yes. But also that's bled into me also. I'm not very complimentary about a lot of things. So it's like in my relationships.
I don't know about that. In certain situations, or like in general, or
in my relationships.
Okay, in your relationship. Okay.
Like if I'm with a girl, I don't like do words of affirmation about how she looks. Almost never. And it's like a thing that I didn't understand that you have to do. And it's something that I was told, like, that's weird. And I was like, but I don't get why. You already know, you should know you're attractive. I would never, you know, and that's something I would struggle with. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being transparent.
No, that's fair.
But other things I'm extra supportive, which also became a problem, because it's like, Kris, you don't talk about this, but you always support me in these other things. Like if I want to do something, or I want to go for this new role, I'm like, you could do it, you could do anything you put your mind to. You like literally the wind beneath my wings. Yeah. But when it comes to just trying to pump me up about how I look, you don't really say nothing about that, or make me feel like you think I'm pretty. And I was like, you should just know that, because I'm with you. You're gonna be pretty. Like I wouldn't be with someone who I wouldn't find as pretty. And it was just like, when you put it like that, it makes sense, but still it would be good to hear. And it's always at the end, towards the end of the relationship, I received that, and I'm like, oh, I guess I should have done that, you know. And
it's you know what, and it's funny because I've sort of dealt with the opposite, because I am very complimentary in my relationship. I tell my girlfriend all the time she's beautiful. I tell her all the time that she's gorgeous. Whenever she talks about her body, I'm just like, I will sleep with you right now. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what? Like, this isn't a, you know. And I'm not just anybody.
Yeah. All right. There we go. This man, I'm not just anybody. It's crazy.
I'm not just anybody saying that. I'm not just any old person coming up to you being like, I want to have my way with you. I'm me. And I mean that, and I mean that in the most real way. I mean, listen.
I'm with you.
I mean that in the most real way.
It's always saying, but go off.
in a real way, like in a real way. I'm not a Joe Schmo. Like you know what I'm saying? So like it's one thing to hear it from Joe Schmo that lives in his basement. You know, it's another thing to hear from one of LA's top male models who is also mentally stable, who has a stable, you know, income, who has a car, who is emotionally mature. You know what I'm saying? Who is articulate.
Yeah, get it off, man. Get your round off. Go off.
I'm just,
Go off, man. Go
you
off.
know what I'm saying?
The car.
Anyways, but
That's a big thing. Having a whip in the house.
Trust me.
especially out here.
As a dude,
Trust me.
I got my own spot. Huh, don't talk to me nice.
Listen.
I can go home right now. Go home right now. Don't talk to me nice. Crazy as hell. I ain't a homosexual. What you talking about? Man, I gotta leave about this joint. I got a place to stay. PlayStation waiting on me. It's waiting for that beat. I'll get right over this real quick. I don't gotta take this. Oh, I missed you too, baby. Shoot. Tripping.
Oh God. So I'm very complimentary in that way, and I think that sometimes I'm very encouraging with career stuff as well. Yeah. But sometimes when she presents things to me and she's just like, you know, oh, I have a meeting with Netflix next week, da 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 da. I'm just like, cool. How do you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? But in that moment, what she wants to hear is, that's great. Like, that's fantastic. She's like, everybody knows that that's great. For you to be in talks about having a meeting with Netflix speaks for itself. But because I didn't explicitly say it, it's a problem.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's I've come to realize you would like to think that different people prefer different things. I fully believe that everybody wants a little bit of all of it.
Yes. Yes. And that's hard. It's hard to manage that, especially when you're somebody that's so in your head about it. And the way you like things is how you like things, because a big part of being a creator or being an entrepreneur is like you're particular. Because your particularness or your peculiarity is what sets you apart from everybody else. It's like how you put your specific mix on whatever you're doing.
Sure.
It's not like, because everybody now make chocolate chip cookies, but not everybody know how to make it the way you make chocolate chip cookies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or everybody know how to pose, but not nobody got the Theon Holland pose.
Oh
You
yeah,
know
there's
what I'm
some signature
saying? You see what I'm
poses
saying?
in there.
You
Oh,
see
for
what
sure.
I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like,
absolutely.
and that's what I'm trying to, it's hard to illustrate that to people. So, you know, when I was talking about my thing and trying to get people to help me, a past partner of mine, she really helped me with that, because she pours into people. That's her thing. You know, she just love pouring into you. She's like, I want to help. Like, she's begging me to help. I was like, I don't need your help. I'm good. And then the minute I was like, all right, what'd you think of this? And she's like, oh, I think it looked good. Not sure it's something else. She's like, I think it looked good.
But what happens when they give you honest, constructive criticism and they're just like, I think it's great.
So I'm getting there.
Okay.
Let me walk. Take this walk with me.
Okay.
So the issue I ran into is like, whatever I showed her, she always said it looked good.
Okay, so then you stop believing it.
Yeah, I was like, everything can't be look. I was like, everything can't look good. She's like, I just want to support you. And it's like, but her mind, she's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to build you up. Like, you feel, I want to support you, so I know the way I support people is by pouring into them. Everybody want a compliment. And I'm like, nah, but I want you to be critical. Because
you want both.
So
you want both.
Yes, I want both.
Because if you're only receiving the criticisms, after a certain point, you're gonna be like, God, I don't even want to show her anymore, because she's just gonna be.
So again, I've been.
Okay.
So let me walk.
Okay.
So then I was with another partner, a past partner of mine, and she was the opposite. She just had criticism.
Okay.
It was almost never good enough, and I was like, Slim, you wildin'. And it took me back in that moment. I was like, dang, man, I wish I was so and so, because she said it was fire, you know. And you're not supposed to have those thoughts. But you had those thoughts. Come
Comparing,
on, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I know she just told me it was fire. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so in those moments, but you gotta know your personnel, because the way she was looking at it was totally different. They were different types of people. Yeah. You got one who's like super hyper executive, and the other one's who's kind of more interpersonal, relationship networking. So it's like, to know that you gotta know your personnel.
You gotta know your personnel.
So it goes back into like choosing your partner could choose where you land. And at the time when I was working, well, I'm not working, when I was with the girl that was more networky, I had a lot of opportunities manifesting naturally because of who I was with. It was just doors was opening, and it wasn't just because of me, it was because I was with her. And then with the other person, you know, it was like I was getting a different level of client. And again, it goes back, I'm very much into the idea, if I get a girl or if I get a partner, my opportunities begin to manifest quickly. I don't know what it is. It's just something that always happens. Once I get in a relationship with somebody, just like people that are like her start to reach out to me. And I don't know what that is, but it's just the way my career has gone. So, you know, when I say it, or like your companion can determine where you landing, I feel like it's a real thing.
I think you're attracting what you put out, right? And I think I think inadvertently you're putting out the same wavelengths that she's putting out.
Yeah.
So that's why your career and everything can take the certain directions that they do. I don't think that they necessarily like specifically going out and finding people and bringing them to you. It's just like you said, knowing your personnel, the energy that they bring to the relationship, to you, to your forward progress, and then that sort of helps just sort of push you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Or in the whatever direction that is. When is it time to go?
I feel like, for me, I'm very big on respect. So if I feel like I'm being disrespected, because I don't do the compliment thing, but I do everything else. So it's like, I respect you, I want to do the best for you, woo, woo. So if you're not able to give me that respect back, like, yo, you gotta look at me like as somebody who's leading. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? How do you manage that piece? If I feel like you're somebody that don't want to be led or you fighting back, that's when I feel like it's time to let go. Because you gotta cut your losses, in my mind. And it's because I give you ample opportunity to get back on track. But once you prove to me that you want to build your own track, I can't go. The ING.
What does disrespect mean to you? Is it talking out the side of your neck? Is it?
So I guess if I'm talking about in like business relationships, if it's hard to get you to do the thing that you're paying me to do, you're paying me for my expertise. I present you with something that I produce based off our discussion. I present it to you, and now you just don't want to use it. You want to do your thing.
You feel like that's disrespect?
100%. Because you paying me. You came to me for my expertise.
Correct. So then, but by that logic, though, they can do whatever they want with it at that point.
100%. But I mean, at the same time, though, if you're not going to use it and you also not going to take my advice, why? If you just want me to execute what you want, you should just do it yourself. And that's how I know that sounds crazy, but that's how I've always been.
Okay. I think that's less disrespect and that's more just undervaluing.
Disrespect.
Okay.
You out of pocket. Don't come to me for my expertise.
And it's funny you say that because I know that when we roll these, when we're rolling these episodes out and you send me a clip and you're just like, this fire, this fire, this gonna hit. Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm gonna archive that one. You'd be disrespected.
No.
You wouldn't?
Mm-mm.
Huh.
No. The thing to me would be that's a personal choice you made. Because if I'm saying
but it's not a personal choice because it has to do with our business. What we're doing right now is we're creating a business.
So I guess what I'm saying, if I'm saying we got an idea for content, I say something out of pocket. I'm like, it's gonna go. You said
no. I'm saying we've already shot it.
Yeah.
You've done your end where you did your magic, your whoop whoop whoop, and created the edit, and then you send it to me, and then I look at it and I didn't like the edit, so I'm just like,
okay. You don't like the edit, that's fine. I ask you what you don't like about it. And then if you give me constructive feedback, I can take that.
And you're saying your boss isn't doing that?
I'm not saying, I'm saying it in most situations if I'm with a client and the client doesn't have constructive feedback, they just don't have anything to say. It's just like, we don't want that. Then what do you want? Well, we want this. And I say, well, that's what this is. And we get into a back and forth and become cyclical. This is what, I'm doing the thing you asked me to do. And we're saying we don't want that. Mm-hmm. It's like the issue is on your end, not on my end. I executed what you wanted me to do. Why are you now telling me that's not what you want?
Do you think that they feel like you're missing?
Yeah.
What they're, okay.
100%. It's lost in translation because it ultimately, to me, becomes an education problem. Like, there's a piece of information we're both missing on each other's side. And how do we get there? And that's when this is going to sound crazy, but you should have somebody that can intervene and help talk you through this thing.
Like a therapist in your relationship.
Yes. Because it's like, I feel like the crux of most problems in anything in life, especially with people, personal or business, is misunderstandings.
Don't they have like mediators?
They are mediators.
Okay.
They're mediators. They're like business and corporate mediators. There are people that make industries of that. Middlemen.
Yeah.
Almost, that's what middlemen are.
Yeah.
They help with transactions. They just help smooth things over.
Yeah.
So it's like, and those, you don't understand, especially when you're in your junior in your career, you don't understand the need for a middle manager or somebody that's like a buffer between you and the executive. Yeah. But then that's only because now when you're senior, you no longer understand that. You're like, why do I need to talk to you? I should be talking to that person. It's because you have the experience to know how to best engage the executive now because you've been doing it long enough. So you kind of feel slighted when there's a middle manager. But when you're younger or trying to figure it out, I feel like it's important to have those buffers to get you to the next level.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the same thing goes, and I'm not going to delve too deeply into this, but same thing sort of goes with the industry, with modeling or acting or producing or whatever the case may be. You have an agent who's the middleman between you and the client, right? where you are providing a service or a product, or you're showcasing their product, or whatever the case may be, and they negotiate the contract, they negotiate exactly what it is that the client wants so that you can fulfill that. But after a certain point, you don't really need the middleman because you've been doing it for so long.
100%.
I've been doing this for so long,
100%.
So there are some times where I do interact directly with the client because I already know what it is that they want. Sometimes I know what the client wants more than they do.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. Because you're paying me for my expertise, therefore it doesn't make sense for me
I
to
hear
go back.
the synapses are firing. Everything's connected. Did you see that? Yeah. You saw that moment.
I looked at him and I was like, oh, I know exactly what he's thinking right now because I'm thinking the same thing.
I see what you're saying now. It's all, yes, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
Disrespect.
I get that.
It's disrespect. You think that I don't know what I'm doing.
I still wouldn't necessarily classify it as disrespect.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, that's disrespect.
But it's definitely something. It's something along that plane, but I don't know that I would call it disrespect.
I guess the lens that I'm looking from, or the vantage point I'm looking at it from, is because you know there's going to be someone that's going to come in that looks different than you, that talks different than you, and they do the same thing you do, and they accept it.
That's racism.
I'm just saying, that prejudice, that's disrespect. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Now we're talking about something completely different.
But I'm just saying, it's a thing. That's disrespect.
No, I agree that it is a thing. But now you're crossing into something that's completely different.
The immediate thought that I had when you said that statement earlier was, okay, when you scale it to like a big thing, right? At some point, you have to just like remove that disrespected feeling because otherwise the roles don't work the way they're supposed to.
I understand that, but maybe this might be a problem I'm saying this, but I look at everybody, I don't look at anybody above or below me. I think I talk to, you know me, I talk to everybody the same. I don't change.
That part is true.
I don't change who I am.
That part is true.
I don't change who I am based off who you are. I talk to you, hey, what's going on, man? Like I remember I met the president of my old job in the elevator and he didn't know who I was. I didn't know who he was. I just thought he was some white man. He's black, he's albino. I was like, oh, okay. And they's like, that was this person. I was like, okay. They's like, you talk to him. Okay, he a human, he doo-doo, I pee-pee, we do the same thing. He bleed, I bleed. It's like, you ain't feel nervous? Why would I feel nervous talking to a man? He a man just like me. He not God. He not nobody. He got to take his pants down to doo-doo just like me. He not above me. You know what I'm saying? Then we go to a party.
No, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? We go to a party at one of my director's houses. She had a party. It's like it kind of was like a corporate, she was like one of my better bosses or whatever. But she had everybody come together and we just talking and people were kind of circling him, but not, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah.
And I walked to him, I was like, hey man, so your father was a bus driver? He's like, yeah, how'd you know that? I was like, oh, I looked you up. He's like, you looked me up? I was like, yeah man, how long you been in DC? Because I'm from DC. He's like, oh, probably about 40 years. I was like, okay, that's cool, man. You ever had mumbo sauce, man? He's like, mumbo sauce? I was like, yeah, come with the curry out. Curry out, curry out, get some fried chicken, fried rice, French fries, mumbo sauce all over, that ketchup. He's like, oh, okay. So we talking about fried chicken and all this wild stuff. And people looking at me like I'm crazy because I just got there. Like this is like 3 months into this job. I'm just some young cat. I'm like 22, 23. And I was talking to him for, like I said, 5 minutes. I was like, all right, it was good talking. He's like, what's your name again? I was like, I'm Kris, man. Kris Stiff. I work in comms, man. I work in comms. I do graphics. He's like, okay. Nice to meet you, son. I was like, oh.
Everything was great up until
I was like, oh, nice to meet you too, Lee. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? First name,
Yeah.
Lee. So step ball, and everyone's like, it turned into a thing. What did you talk to him about? He was talking for a long time. You weren't nervous. I was like, no, don't matter. You're human. Just be yourself. And I feel like that's what a lot of like when you meet famous people or whatever, I feel like they feel the same way. You meet somebody popular and you're like, they feel panicked. You know what I'm saying? But if you walk up to them, like, hey, how's it going? I really appreciate what you do. Just talk. What you think of this thing? They really appreciate that you treat them like a person.
Oh, I've had that happen multiple times. I told you when I met The Miz.
Yeah.
The most recent, thing. I had no idea because I don't follow wrestling or anything like that, and I was at an event. And he just happened to be talking to my girlfriend because they worked together. And so she introduces me to him. She's like, oh, this is Mike. I was like, oh, nice to meet you, Mike. So what do you do? He was just like, I wrestle. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like for like a big corp, like, are you like an Olympian? Like, I don't what?
I get more context. Who is The Miz, bro? You don't even know.
I still don't even. Let me finish the story. Let me finish the story.
It's a wild story.
Let me finish the story.
As me who like wrestling, it's like, man, that's crazy. Go off.
So my girlfriend has a going away party because she used to work for the WWE, which I'll just go ahead and lay that out there. And she has a going away party. It's in New York. We're there, and I pull up, and there's a bunch of people in there. I have no idea who anybody is because I've never watched wrestling a day in my life. Couldn't care less.
He supposed to be from Maryland. Cap.
No. Maryland is what?
Okay. It's big.
Crab cakes and football.
Yeah. But wrestling? I guess you're not from Baltimore. You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm from Southern Maryland.
Maryland.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we playing in the dirt.
Yeah, you're not from Maryland. You're from Maryland.
No, I'm from Maryland. There's Baltimore and then there's Maryland. And then there's Maryland. There is. That's more northern. Yeah. That's northern.
Columbia,
I'm from the South. Listen, don't disrespect me like that. Don't disrespect me like that.
It's not disrespect. It's more of a misunderstanding, you know. You just gotta... It's a different thing.
Okay, stiff. So I show up to this event, and she just happens to be sitting at a table talking to this guy. And so I walk up, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, hey, I want you to meet Mike." I was like, "Hi," shake his hand. "Nice to meet you." He's like, "Nice to meet you." I'm like, "I'm Theon." He's like, "I'm Mike." She gets up to go mingle because it's her party, and then I sit down. And it's just me and Mike, and I'm just like, "So, Mike, what do you do?" And he was like, I wrestle." And I was like, "Oh, okay. So are you with like a certain organization or like what?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm the Miz." And I was like, "Is that like your stage name? Like I don't." He was like, "Yeah, no." And then my girl overhears, and she comes over. She's like, "He's the Miz. You really?" I was like, "No, I have no idea. I'm sorry." He was like, No. That's cool. Like, honestly, it's kind of refreshing."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "All right, bet. Cool. Well, it's nice to meet you, man. I hope you have a successful career." And we left it at that. And I've seen him a couple of times since then, and he's a super nice guy. Great family man as far as I can tell and everything like that. So
He won SmackDown, Mo.
okay, I don't know what any of that means.
That's
all of
a shame.
I'm with you. I
all
don't
of that
know.
sounds made up to me anyways. No disrespect. I think that they're great athletes. I think that what they do is amazing.
Relax.
Okay.
Relax.
But moral of the story is I treated him like another, you know what I'm saying?
Human, yeah.
And I treat everybody that way.
Yeah.
Even if I run into somebody that I know has a big following. I ran into some TikTok dude the other day, or a while ago, and I actually watch his TikToks. I think he's genuinely funny. And I went up to him when I saw him, and I was just like, shook his hand. "Like your stuff, man." And he was just like, thank you, I appreciate that. He was like, "What's your name?" I was like, "Theon." He introduced himself. I was just like, "Didn't want to interrupt you. Have a good night, man. Just keep doing what you're doing." Left it at that. Because like you said, we all pee and poop out of the same holes, hopefully. You know what I'm saying?
Some of us have multiple holes, man.
Oh, yeah, you know, we're not going to get into that. But, so,
Decepticons.
But yes, I honestly, I think that I'm guilty. Come on, man. We're not going down that road. Listen to what I'm saying. Sometimes I will admit that sometimes I'm guilty of it. And I don't know that if I do it on purpose or not, but sometimes I'll meet somebody and I'll shake their hand. I'll be like, "How's it going, buddy?" Mm-hmm. That's a little, when you call someone buddy.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
It's a little like little bro. You know what I'm saying? I used to do that a lot. A lot. I don't know why I did it, but I can see how that can be taken as like I'm not. You know what I mean?
My mentor does that to everyone.
Okay.
Everyone. It's like no matter who you are.
And if someone did it to me, I'd be like.
But the way he does it is he walks up to you, "What's going on, buddy?" That's how he does it.
Okay.
And it's like it's condescending. And that's what the buddy is. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? It's like saying sport.
Yeah. How's you doing, kiddo? Yeah.
And
I get it.
And I don't think it's a problem because also I know it's probably from your dad. Because your dad's very dad man. You know what I'm saying? So you meet somebody, probably that's how you talk to people. So you know how to talk to men by that.
Yeah.
So like I say man a lot, right?
Yeah.
My father and my mom are estranged. Get it out the way. Not gonna get into it.
Okay.
They're estranged. But one thing my father did tell my mom when she had me and my brother was to say man all the time.
We say sir.
I know, but she said say man. He told her say man.
You do man, okay.
Because you're a man. Because you raising men. And she's like, that's important. He's like, that's the one thing your father told me is to suggest y'all as man, even when y'all was little boys, to let them know that they are men.
You're growing to be a man.
No, different.
Oh, that you are a man.
That you are a man. Like it's not something you're going to be.
No baby boy. No, none of that. Okay.
No, man. So she's like, come on, man. How y'all doing? Y'all my boys. Y'all my men. She would say that all this. She would correct herself, and I remember that growing up. So when I talk to people, I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? Like when I dress, I always say that, man, because that's how I grew up. So I feel like that's a big part of my lingo. But also, it's like man don't mean man, unless I'm talking to a man. But I call a girl a man. Like, what's going on, man? How you doing? Or,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like human.
It's a colloquial.
For human. Sort of, but it's a thing that all of us do. So I don't think it's when you do it. I don't think it's little bro.
Well, I don't do it anymore. Especially when if I meet someone close to my age or younger or whatever. Actually, I lied. I do still do it.
Yeah.
I say buddy. If it's someone that I know is significantly older than me, I'll say sir.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody that's
you see
around my age or I'll say buddy.
That's what I'm trying to say. You see him at the same level. Yeah, it's like
true.
You just buddy, bro. What's going on? We same.
What's going on, buddy?
Yeah. You big? Oh, you famous, huh? What's going on, buddy?
Yeah. But I you know, I will admit that there are times when I do say it to certain people, and I'm just like, know your place.
It's insane.
Recognize, like, I'm not just any old person that you're meeting right now. You know what I mean? I might not have all the accolades yet. I might not have the big mansion. I might not have billions in the account yet. But what is the true definition of a man?
Where we going? You know I will go off the rails right now. What are we doing? I will go off the rails right now. You want to jump off the bridge, jump off the bridge. What are we doing? We can talk about what a man is, what a woman is, you know what I'm saying, what a child is. We can do all that.
And that is our episode for the day. Great episode, great talk. As always, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too, man.
You know, I'm having a great time. Hopefully everybody else is having a great time too. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome, man.